Hello, before starting the video today, I would like to say a big thank you to all people watching this video and also the 15 subscribers that are interested. This gives us a huge encouragement to continue what we have started and to support you. The topic today is how to invoice time on a project with Odoo. The first thing to do to invoice the time on Odoo is to create an employee. So let's do it. I create an employee with the name manager for demo. And then I will link this employee to the user manager. The next thing to do is to set properly the HR settings. And here, the most important element is that I need to have a product that is assigned for the timesheet. I can save. And now I have the employee. Now the next step is to create a project. I go onto project, and then I create. Let's say I'm doing a consulting project 1. Here I see that I can have time, tasks, timesheets, and issues. In this case, I'm not gonna manage issues, so I'm taking this away. I can now choose the customer for which I will create the project. Let's choose crazy hair. Here you can define what a new email create, whether it's create a task or it's create an issue. And you can say where you accept the emails from. In this case, it's everyone. So I can create an email alias saying consulting@demosas.ybioservices.net. Now I also able to add a person to my team. In this case, I want to have the manager and the manager one as members of my team. I define the visibility of the project, meaning whether it's a project that everybody can see, or whether it's in customer-related project that go through the portal or internal project. Most of the projects will be internal projects, or private projects will mean that you need to define who is allowed to see the information related to the project. You can set up the date and the start and the end date of the project, but it's not so important at the moment for what I want to say. And then you can set the project stage. This is in the standard for development projects, but you may not have all these stages, so you may just have maybe analysis and design. So I'm gonna delete the other things. So because we don't do development, we don't do testing, and then we want to have the stages done and are cancelled. You can define your own stages here just by adding an item and giving it a name. Okay, I'm gonna save the project. So now I have this consulting project 1. What is really important is whenever you create this project, if you go onto sales, contracts, you see that the contract has been created for this very project. So you see I have a contract consulting project 1, and this is quite important for invoicing purposes. But let's continue with the project. Now I have my consulting project, and the first thing I want to do is I want to add tasks to my project. So I click on task and I create a task. I will call my task my first task, just to show that it's a task. Here I can assign this to the project, the consulting project 1, and generally each task is assigned to one person. You can also enter here the time that is planned for the task. That is quite useful. So in this case I would say I have 12 hours planned for the task. And then I can save the task. So I click on Sales and then Contracts, and I go have a look at my project consulting 1. I can edit the contract. So what am I doing now? I go down to Invoicing part and I select Invoice on Timesheet. I have the possibility to say how much I'm expecting from this very contract. But the most important thing is here, down here, I can select a price list. Now I take the standard price list, and then I can also define as a general rule how much percent is invoiceable. Here, 100%. I will go in another video, I will speak about how to generate recurring invoices automatically, but this time we're going to do this everything manually. When this is done, I can save the contract. I start working on the project, so I need to record the time worked. I go to Projects, Tasks. I have my task here, I edit. So now I have worked on the project. I can enter the time I worked here on the work summary. Here I have read the documentation and it took me 2 hours. I press on Save, and what you see here, I had initially planned 12 hours, it remains 10 hours. Another time I work also, so I can create a new entry for something I have done, like the concept. It was 4 hours 30 minutes, but it was done yesterday. I enter the time and I can save. You see the time is reduced. Here I have 5.5 hours still open. Well, the next element is to invoice the task. So in order to invoice the task, I go to Invoice Tasks, and here you see all the entries that I have done in detail. Automatically, when you press on Invoice Task, the system is showing you everything that is to invoice. So here I have invoiceable 100%, and I can invoice them. In this case, I want to select all of them, so I press here on the top, and you see as soon as I have selected something, I have this More menu coming, and I can go to the More menu and press Create Invoice. The system asks me what details I want to have on the invoice. In this very specific case, I'm going to put everything just for you to see exactly how it looks like. So the date, the time spent, the description, and the costs. I can also say that I want to have a very specific product to appear for the invoice. In this case, I don't have any other products in the system, so I will just press Create Invoice. Now you'd see on the top I'm in Invoice Task Invoices. The system has just created a new invoice with the date that I gave him. Let us go inside this invoice. As you see, it has the status draft. So I go into the invoice and have a look at that. I wanted to show you is now I have the service 100%, the date, when I worked, the amount of work I did, and also the description of the work that is done. So if you only have 2 or 3 entries, it's okay to have this, but most of the time it's a little bit a lot for an invoice, I find personally. The unit price was found automatically. It's the price in the service. In order to check this, let us go onto the service itself. So I go here, I click on service, here I can check, and you see the public price is 75. So this is automatically coming if you don't change anything. You can also have, if you start working with price list, you can have the price based on the price list, and if you work with sales order, that we will do in another video, you will see that you will have another price. But if you don't agree with this very price, because for this customer you have another price, you can just update the price here and click on the bottom to update, and here it is. You have your 6.5 hours invoice. You can save, and as any other invoice, you can just validate it and send it to the customer by email. The email address is missing, so I'm updating the email address, and this is the standard layout that you can have for the email. So now I can send the email. If I want to have a last look, I can also click here. The system is going to show me how the invoice looks like, and you see this is the logo, beautiful SaaS, and I have all the details very beautifully done. I can press send, and it sends out the message, and this is finished. The system is also keeping the reference of everything you have sent out. Well, that's it for today. If you want to have a look at Odoo, visit our webpage plainosas.yboservices.net.